Hey everybody, Joseph Rothschild here, aka MBT, and honestly, I thought that last episode was going to be the death knell of the series, but you all proved me wrong. You'll accept anything. So today, we go even further to the bottom of the barrel. We're talking about Yu-Gi-Oh cards that were not necessarily powerful at the competitive level. No CED, no BLS, no Yata-Garasu. We're talking about cards that were powerful at the playground level. Cards that were strong not only because they had powerful effects, but also because they were easy to acquire, usually commons, easy to misread, or occasionally just straight up fake. Well, my card, of course, is Swarm of Scarabs. You have watched me in progression series, you know I absolutely love this card. I got it at a Toys R Us play day. They used to corral kids off into a corner of the Toys R Us, throw some cards at them and say, you know, go, your parents need a couple of hours away from you. One of my winnings one day was a copy of Swarm of Scarabs, which was absolutely unbeatable on the playground. Repeatable removal, unheard of on asphalt metagames. Dire is showing off a combo that was not only broken on playgrounds, but also broken in progression playoffs. Patrician of Darkness, of course, allows you to choose the attack targets for your opponent's attacks. Did any children in the audience try to choose the attack target as their opponent's own monsters? This card was very easy to misread. It's also just straight up good if you're allowed to assemble it with Spirit Reaper. Consistently direct your opponent's attacks into this person and preserve your entire field. As a 9-year-old, me and my brother had zero understanding of how this worked. He would tell me to attack my own monsters, and I would get so frustrated I'd cry. Not really childhood, but we had a Yu-Gi-Oh! Resurgence at our school, and me playing with this is probably single-handedly responsible for everyone quitting the game again. If you weren't playing powerful cards in Lord of the Tachyon Galaxy, you were playing Battle & Boxer exactly. And Lead Yoke is more responsible than I think anything else to absolutely dome kids. Farfa says Monster Reborn. Oh, cool. Your broken card is Monster Reborn. The difference is we didn't have a ban list or a concept of limitations, so I played 4. Okay, I could see it. I could see it being a little better in that scenario. I'll reborn the monster, but that's not all. I'm doing that shit again.
Reborn the monster!
Maiden with Eyes of Blue is a classic example of a card that I believe saw like very little competitive success, but boy was it undefeatable at a playground level. I'm pretty sure none of us could out a Blue Eyes with our bad decks, and you're getting multiple of them off of this one. Unfortunately, the streets of 2nd through 4th grade were flooded with rare hunters unafraid to use their counterfeit Exodias. Yeah, I don't know how you're meant to beat this. The Dark Master, of course, we all remember the sound attribute. He's got too many stars. They kind of bleed out into the edges of the card. This is a fighter effect. When the Dark Master released, all monster with endless offensive will be destroyed. And he, of course, has limitless Offensire Force. Of course, if you get him in defense position, he fucking sucks. I do appreciate the little 412 there. Clearly doesn't mean anything, but the concept that, like, maybe there were 411 others is too funny. Oh, actually, you know what? I do. I actually have another card from this set. I found this at a college friend's childhood home, and they were kind enough to let me take this home with me. But behold, we'll begin with the back of this card. Yu-Gi-Oh! That's just so you can know that it's Yu-Gi-Oh! Skeleton-loving demon. Also a sound type. The front of the card is just a little more shiny than I think you're probably used to. It's clearly Dark Necrofear, but this demon/effect has the effect: present 3 cards on, hands for special call. After destroyed, it's transported to cemetery. After finished, it's ready to control the opponent's demon. My buddy in high school was unbeatable with these 2 MFs. They were cheap, so we had a whole playset, and he would OTK all of our jank piles 9 games out of 10. Yeah, listen, if I could go back in time and tell high school, middle school Joseph to do anything, it would be play Battery Man exactly. Battery Man was so powerful on the playground, and the most powerful card in it, Industrial Strength, was a rare. Half Miss says Raging Flame Strike was a big one. If it ever lived a turn, it just became a 2.1k beater, and it spiraled from there. Unoutable in playground if it lives 2 turns, because no one is playing removal spells, and just kept on pushing. Anyone play this bad boy with Gravity Bind? What do you mean standby phase? This is just a big boy who you can't run over in battle. I think every kid that I ever knew played this card. I remember being shocked when I found out it actually wasn't good. Scrap Iron Scarecrow is an all-timer. This card literally just read win the game if you were a kid. Oh, and literally the literal next one, also Scrap Iron Scarecrow. Playing a deck where basically every guy floats into a 2300 beat stick got me ways. Just don't tell 11-year-old me what missing the timing is. Yeah. Solar Flare Dragon, a classic. Pretty sure this guy was where I got my love of slow control decks and burn from. Put 2 of these out and dupe locked before I even knew what a frog was. Who here set up the Solar Flare Dragon lock at their playground? All right, that was a test. All of you that said me are banned. We all thought this was super broken with 2 equip spells. Even the Blue Eyes White Dragon couldn't get over it. This is the first time I'm noticing Mahavilo's hat. What is going on? It looks like a hand. This card was designed to irritate me specifically at recess. I swear to God. Ordeal of a Traveler, the GOAT. When an opponent's monster declares an attack, call a random card in your hand and call the type of card. If you get it wrong, return the attacking monster to the hand. This is completely broken in a format where you can afford to just normal 1 monster a turn and play nothing else. I gotta ask you, did you all ever cheat? Like your opponent would indicate a card and you'd like try and shuffle it around real quick and be like, oh, you meant this one? No, that's a spell. Oh my God, it is terrible. I remember Obnoxious Celtic Guard just doming everybody. Can be destroyed by battle with a monster with 1900 or more attack. Obviously, any equip spell is crazy. But more importantly, you would always play it, and then your opponent would just be saddled with a bunch of big attack monsters, and you would get to say the line from the show, which is like, you cannot simply rely on powerful monsters to win. A true duelist uses their favorites. You'd get to feel like Yugi Moto. Whitehorn Dragon is a classic. You know, it's not very good. Certainly not strong. But everyone had it. And why? Because it was in the McDonald's pack. Oh, it's shocking how many of these cards are childhood favorites just because of extenuating circumstances like that. I hope we get a retrain and they release them in Burger King meals. This was our Waking the Dragon. Shouts out to the entire Dark World archetype for when we thought they triggered off of Snipe Hunter, but especially Rainbow. I remember seeing his restriction of having the opponent discard and going, oh, that's clearly a typo. It's just like, yeah, I'm going to Raigeki your board. Dog, you can't do that. Don't worry, it's a typo. When we were young, we had some creative rulings for this card. 2 attacks is 2600 damage, so surely you could combine them. The monster was therefore 2600 for a turn. And it doesn't say your main phase, so we used it in the opponent's too. It just walked over everything. Did anyone else play it like that? I did, said Dyer. I hope not. Sorc is maybe the poster boy for playground staples. He was a chaos monster, slots into everything, unbelievably powerful effect, and most importantly, was common. This is like the one crossover hit, a competitive staple that also was dominating kids on the slide and monkey bars at the same time. For a group of players who would pretty much never be able to afford a Stardust Dragon, this card was mana from heaven. I remember the first time this got summoned on me, it was right after Phantom Darkness released, and I remember being shocked that they made a card that could do this much. Like, my opponent summoned it, and I was like, what the fuck? A friend of mine used to wait till you had a big hand, summon Hummingbird, gain life, then went on timeout when the bell rang. Wow. Literally the first player, a proto time in the round duelist. Teacher, how much longer before recess is over? 15 seconds. Cool. Normal air Hummingbird gains 7,000. That player went on to actually just win the most recent YCS. This card was insane because we never read the second line of text. There's 2 lines of text! When you're dumb kids who selectively don't read and assume the card does what its art and name imply, i.e. exchange these 2 monsters. Wait. Soul Exchange is already good. You were like, they're exchanging. Let's exchange. And the other player went, yeah, that sounds right. I would use this with my non-legal Slifer the Sky Dragon. We would use the show's effects, and would use this to take my opponent's Pot of Greed and use it as my hand, which meant that every card in my hand was Pot of Greed. I would then draw my entire deck to give my Slifer 40,000 attack. Yeah, that's how it works. I didn't tell the other kids the effect. I just told them it was Mirror Force. It's reflecting the attack. Here in Brazil, bootleg cards were very popular, so because of misspelling and no knowledge about the rules, Tyrant Dragon could be special summoned from hand by tributing 1 monster on the field, had the Jinzo effect, and could do 1 more attack for each monster on the field, including itself. That's a little better than normal Tyrant Dragon. Wait, this is from the same set as the Dark Beast, 142. This card wasn't strong, but it was worth its weight in gold because it was a level 4 tuner. Oh man, that's early 5Ds for you. When I was 5 or 6, me and my friends at the beach had a huge stack of fake cards, including this one Spanish Gate Guardian. We asked my mom, who did not know Spanish, what it did, and she said that if you play it, you win the game. Learning the truth killed something in me. That's actually, your mom has 10 million IQ. Mom, what does this do? If you play it, you have to stop playing. Okay, if you say so. So that's that. I kind of hope that kids still play Yu-Gi-Oh! On playgrounds, hiding stuff from their teachers that they're not supposed to have. But realistically, I can't imagine anyone is going to have the same feelings about, let's say, Masterpiece, the True Draco Slaying King that we did about Swarm of Scarabs.